Hello everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to have you here as we explore the fascinating world of humanistic and person-centered approaches. On this first slide, you'll see the main title, Humanistic and Person-Centered Approaches, along with the subtitle, Theories and Approaches in Counseling. Over the course of this presentation, we'll look at different counseling theories, focusing especially on these humanistic perspectives, and discuss how they shape effective therapeutic practices. So, let's get started and dive into the wonderful insights these approaches offer. Today, I want to focus on humanistic and person-centered approaches, which are really foundational to understanding how we connect with individuals. These approaches emphasize the importance of seeing each person as a whole, unique individual with their own experiences, feelings, and needs. Instead of just focusing on symptoms or behaviors, we prioritize understanding their perspective and creating a supportive environment. At the core, humanistic approaches promote empathy, respect, and genuine care. They remind us that every person deserves dignity and an opportunity to express themselves freely. Person-centered approaches build on this by actively involving individuals in their own care or intervention process, making sure their voice is heard and their preferences are honored. Overall, these approaches are about shifting from a one-size-fits-all mindset to a more personalized, compassionate way of engaging with people. They not only improve outcomes, but also foster trust and collaboration, which are essential themes in our broader discussion today. Let's explore Maslow's humanistic psychology and the concept of the self-actualizing individual. This perspective sees all human behavior as the result of an interaction between our inner processes and external forces. It emphasizes understanding how we grow and develop, focusing on our potential and personal responsibilities. The idea is that by recognizing our strengths, creativity, and the choices we make in the here and now, we can better understand ourselves and our actions. This approach encourages us to take an active role in our self-development and growth. Carl Rogers' person-centered approach is a key part of this humanistic theory. It highlights the importance of creating a supportive environment where individuals can realize their full potential. Overall, this humanistic perspective reminds us that we are responsible for our growth, and that understanding ourselves can lead to greater fulfillment and authenticity. In this slide, we're focusing on an approach that centers around human experience. What makes us uniquely human? Our problems, potentials, and ideals. When we talk about human nature, we're referring to the traits, qualities, and behavior patterns that are most characteristic of us as humans. These include our natural tendencies, our capacities for creativity, empathy, and growth. Now, an important concept here is free choice. The idea that we have the ability to make choices that aren't solely dictated by genetics, our previous learning, or unconscious forces. This emphasizes our sense of agency and responsibility in shaping our lives. Subjective experience is also key. It's all about our private perceptions of reality. No one else can truly see the world exactly as we do, which makes understanding that inner perspective vital in human-centered approaches. Self-actualization, a term popularized by Maslow, is about the process of fully developing our personal potentials. It's about reaching our highest possible functioning and fulfillment. Sometimes, we experience peak moments, those fleeting, intense experiences of self-actualization where we feel completely in sync with ourselves and the world. All of this ties into the core of humanism, which is an optimistic view of human nature. It emphasizes growth, free will, and the pursuit of meaning and self-fulfillment. This approach reminds us that understanding human experience is essential when we aim to support and nurture our potential. Let's talk about the person-centered approach, which was founded by Carl Rogers back in the 1940s. This approach is rooted in the belief that people inherently have both the capacity and the right to move toward self-actualization. Essentially, it emphasizes that each person has the potential to grow and realize their fullest self. When we discuss deals, we're referring to how individuals perceive themselves consciously, how they see their own identity, rather than analyzing unconscious thoughts or hidden ideas. It's about their self-awareness and self-perception. Self-actualization is a key concept here. It's the idea that all humans are naturally driven to pursue what is best for themselves, to reach their full potential. And when we talk about human beings in this context, we see them as having an innate tendency to develop toward this full realization. Our purpose as practitioners is to facilitate this natural tendency, help clients realize, fulfill, and find autonomy in their lives. It's about encouraging self-discovery and self-acceptance. However, humans do have the ability to resolve conflicts within themselves, but often they're limited because they lack knowledge about their true selves. These conflicts typically arise from a disparity between their innate growth needs and the desire for approval or positive responses from significant others in their environment. This is where Rogers' client-centered theory comes in. It emphasizes creating a supportive environment that nurtures the client's natural tendency toward growth. By understanding these core ideas, we can better appreciate how this approach aims to empower individuals to move toward their best selves, aligning with the overall theme of fostering genuine human development. Rogers believed that people are essentially good. Humans are characteristically positive, forward-moving, constructive, realistic, and trustworthy. Each of us has the innate ability to reach our full potential. As infants, we are born with this capacity, but unfortunately, early experiences can sometimes cause us to lose touch with it. The self-concept we develop based on those early experiences may create a barrier, alienating us from our true self. In Rogers' view, there is no such thing as mental illness. Instead, he sees these issues as a disconnect from our self-potential. This perspective is often considered the most optimistic approach to human potential because it emphasizes our natural tendency toward growth and self-actualization. He also viewed the person from a phenomenological perspective, meaning that what's most important is how we perceive reality, not necessarily the event itself. This idea is central to what's called self-theory. The self, according to Rogers, is a natural outgrowth of our experiences. As we become aware of ourselves, we can differentiate ourselves from others. This awareness helps us understand who we are and how we relate to the world around us. Now, let's explore what it means to be a fully functioning person. Essentially, this is someone who lives in harmony with their deepest feelings and impulses, meaning they are authentic and in touch with who they truly are. Next, the concept of the self comes into play. The self is quite flexible. It's a changing perception of our own identity, which helps us adapt and grow over time. Connected to that is our self-image, which is how we perceive ourselves entirely, how we see our body and our personality. It's a subjective view, meaning it's shaped by our experiences and feelings. However, sometimes there's a gap between our experiences and our self-image. This is what we call incongruence, when what we experience doesn't match how we see ourselves. Then, there's the idea of the ideal self. This is the image of who we would like to be, our perfect version of ourselves. Positive self-regard is about viewing ourselves as good, lovable, and worthwhile. It's an essential part of how we develop healthy self-esteem. And at the core of this is unconditional positive regard, unshakable love and acceptance from others, which fosters our ability to accept ourselves fully. All of these ideas are central to Carl Rogers' self-theory, which emphasizes the importance of living authentically and feeling loved unconditionally to achieve personal growth and fulfillment. Connecting these points to the overall theme, it's clear that understanding and nurturing our self-concept and relationships with others are crucial steps toward becoming fully functioning individuals. So in this slide, we're looking at the concept of incongruence, which happens when there's a mismatch between three key aspects of ourselves. First, there's the ideal self, which is the person we would like to be. Then there's our self-image, or how we perceive ourselves now. And finally, there's the true self, which is who we actually are deep down. When these three don't align, problems can arise. For example, if our self-image is far from our ideal self, our self-esteem can take a hit. We might feel worse about ourselves because we're not meeting our own expectations. Similarly, if our self-image doesn't match our true self, it can lead to feelings of anxiety or defensiveness. We might be putting on a facade or feeling uncomfortable with who we really are, which creates internal conflict. Understanding this mismatch is important because it highlights areas where we might experience emotional distress or self-criticism. Recognizing these discrepancies can help us work toward greater authenticity and balance, which ties into the overall theme of developing healthier self-awareness and self-acceptance. The counselor's role is a holistic one, meaning it involves looking at the whole person, not just specific issues. It's about creating a safe and supportive environment where the client feels free to explore all aspects of themselves. The goal is to encourage openness and self-awareness. As counselors, we aim to help clients develop greater independence and integration, so they can better understand their place in their surroundings and their relationships with others. We want them to feel empowered to trust themselves, evaluate their internal experiences, and stay committed to ongoing growth. It's important to remember that each client will experience this process differently, depending on how they perceive their past and the potential of their future. Exploring a wider range of beliefs and feelings allows clients to gain deeper insight into who they are and what they are capable of achieving. This holistic approach underscores the importance of fostering self-trust and openness, which are essential for meaningful change and personal development. It's really about guiding clients to a place where they can navigate their lives with confidence and clarity. The goals of person-centered counseling focus on seeing the client as a whole person, not just as someone with a problem. Rogers emphasizes that our role is to help individuals learn how to cope with life's challenges effectively. The idea is that, through this process, clients move towards achieving goals like self-realization, fulfillment, autonomy, self-determination, and even a sense of perfection. This progress happens as they develop a more realistic perception of themselves and their situations. The ultimate aim is to build their confidence, encourage self-direction, and help them value themselves more positively. When this happens, they become less likely to be upset by stress and more resilient overall. Ideally, they will become healthier, more integrated, and well-functioning in their personality structure. So, in essence, the goal is to support clients in becoming the best version of themselves, more balanced, more confident, and better equipped to handle life's ups and downs. The counselor, as a person, is absolutely vital to person-centered counseling. Counselors demonstrate key qualities such as openness, empathic understanding, independence, spontaneity, acceptance, mutual respect, and intimacy. These qualities are not just traits. They are the foundation for creating a safe and trusting environment. In fact, counselors encourage clients to work toward achieving these same conditions as the ultimate goals of counseling. The primary techniques revolve around the counselor's attitudes toward people, which are essential for fostering growth and change. First, there's unconditional positive regard. This means that the counselor accepts the client completely, without any conditions or judgments. The client is free to explore all their thoughts and feelings, positive or negative, without fear of rejection or condemnation. Importantly, the client doesn't need to do anything specific or meet certain standards to earn this positive regard. Next, we have empathic understanding. This involves the counselor accurately perceiving the client's thoughts, feelings, and meanings from the client's own perspective. When the counselor genuinely understands the world from the client's point of view, it shows the client that their feelings and experiences are valued. It also helps build trust and acceptance. Finally, there's congruence or authenticity. This means the counselor is genuine, transparent, and real with the client. There's no facade or hidden agenda, no air of authority or pretension. The client can see and feel that the counselor is being honest and true to themselves. These attitudes, unconditional positive regard, empathic understanding, and congruence, are the core of person-centered techniques. Together, they create a supportive environment where clients feel safe to explore and grow. let's explore some key Rogerian concepts that are fundamental to understanding healthy psychological development. First, we have conditions of worth. These are the internal standards of evaluation that children develop, often based on external approval or expectations. When children feel they must meet certain conditions to be valued, it can impact their self-view. Next is positive self-regard. This involves thinking of oneself as a good, lovable, and worthwhile person. When we have positive self-regard, we see ourselves in a compassionate and accepting way, which is essential for our well-being. Then there's organismic valuing. This is a bit more natural. It's our full-body, undistorted reaction to experiences. It's an instinctive sense of what's good or bad for us, guiding us in a genuine and authentic way. Finally, we have unconditional positive regard. This is the unwavering love and acceptance from others, regardless of circumstances. It's a crucial component because it fosters a safe environment where individuals can develop a healthy sense of self without fear of rejection. All these concepts tie into the broader theme of Rogers' humanistic approach, emphasizing the importance of acceptance, authenticity, and internal growth in achieving psychological health. Let's take a closer look at Rogers' 6 core conditions for personality change. First, it's essential that two persons are in psychological contact. This means there's a genuine connection and awareness between the client and the counselor. Next, the client needs to be in a state of incongruence, which simply means they are experiencing a gap between their self-perception and their actual experiences. This discomfort often motivates change. The counselor, on the other hand, must be congruent, meaning authentic and genuine, and involved in the relationship. This authenticity helps build trust and safety. Equally important is that the counselor experiences unconditional positive regard for the client. This non-judgmental acceptance allows clients to feel safe exploring their true selves. Then, the counselor needs to understand the client's frame of reference, which involves empathetically grasping their perspective without judgment. Finally, all of this is communicated through empathic and positive regard, creating an environment where real change can happen. Now, to foster and strengthen this relationship, several methods are particularly effective. Active and passive listening are fundamental. They show the client that they are truly heard. Reflection of thoughts and feelings helps clarify what the client is experiencing internally. Clarification and summarizing are tools to ensure understanding is accurate and to help the client see their thoughts more clearly. Confrontation of contradictions can gently challenge inconsistencies in the client's narrative, prompting insight. And using general or open-ended questions encourages clients to explore deeper aspects of themselves, promoting self-awareness. All these methods work together to create a supportive, trusting environment, one where genuine change becomes possible. This aligns perfectly with our overall goal of facilitating personal growth through the counseling process. Now, let's talk about the core elements that foster real change in counseling, as outlined by Rogers. First, there needs to be psychological contact between the client and the counselor. This means there's a genuine connection, a sense that both are truly present with each other. Next, the client might be emotionally upset or in a state of incongruence, which indicates that their self-perception doesn't fully match their experiences. This is a crucial stage because it signals that change is possible and necessary. On the counselor's side, being genuine and aware of your own feelings, what we call congruence, is vital. It helps build trust and authenticity in the relationship. Along with that, the counselor must have unconditional positive regard for the client. This means accepting and supporting the client without any conditions attached, creating a safe space for growth. Empathetic understanding is also key. It involves truly communicating back to the client that you understand their experience from their perspective. When the client sees the counselor demonstrating this, they recognize that they are accepted unconditionally and understand that their difficulties are acknowledged without judgment. All of these elements, genuine presence, unconditional positive regard, and empathetic understanding, are what Rogers referred to as the core and active conditions. They are the 6 necessary conditions that enable real, meaningful change. When these conditions are present, the therapeutic environment becomes a powerful space for transformation. Now, let's explore how person-centered therapy offers a valuable opportunity to counteract past experiences that may have shaped our conditions of worth. By engaging in this process, individuals can work through those previous influences and foster significant personal growth. One of the key benefits is a closer alignment between the ideal self and the actual self, which helps us feel more authentic and true to ourselves. This therapy also promotes better self-understanding and awareness, allowing us to recognize our true feelings and motivations more clearly. As a result, we often see decreases in defensiveness, insecurity, and guilt, those barriers that can hold us back from living fully. People often develop a greater ability to trust themselves, which naturally leads to healthier relationships with others. It also encourages improved self-expression, enabling us to communicate more openly and honestly. Overall, these changes contribute to a healthy, positive sense of growth and transformation. So, how can person-centered therapy benefit you? It provides a supportive environment where you can challenge and reshape those past influences, leading to a more fulfilled, self-accepting, and genuine life.